We're away.
Boy, Joan, it's nice to hear your voice come in and count down.
Better than Marvin's. The Red Wings won't make the playoffs.
Look, they had that.
What?
There's only 2 games underway now?
3.
The St. Louis Cardinals, the first time they got the ball in this game, if you joined us late, got a good kickoff return from Willard Harrell and then drove the ball right at the Jets. Never threw a pass. And subsequently went in with a touchdown. Jim Otis hitting in from 7 yards out to give the Cardinals a 7-0 lead. The Jets have now come back and they lead 10-7. Here's Otis running hard as the first half winds down. 39 seconds on the clock running. Ken Schroy, 48, and Bobby Jackson, number 40, on the stop for the Jets.
Unusual call, Nick, running the football there. Even though they do pick up a first down, still have a long way to go.
I think he'll put the ball up. I think it'll be deep, though. They're going to probably go for Mel Gray on a fly pattern. He'll be working against Taylor. Let's see if it happens.
Kozakowicz throws the ball hard, and Steve Jones is tripped up. Greg Buttle, one of those big Penn State linebackers, tripped him up. Buttle and Allerman of the Cardinals played together on some very good Penn State teams. Back the line.
Going to get a little timeout here for Steve to come over. Or they call him the Zark, huh? Zark's coming over to talk, and Jim Hart's standing in there also.
NBA basketball returns to CBS at 11:30 Eastern Time next Friday night, with the world champion Washington Bullets going against the Golden State Warriors and Milwaukee taking on Seattle. Consult your local listings for the game and time in your area.
I've seen Washington play, and they're for real.
They're unbeaten again.
Oh, boy, they're playing. Dick Motta said they're better than they ever were last year.
Seattle doesn't miss Marvin Webster too much either. They're rolling.
Lost. That's right.
They are really rolling.
I've got 2 very excellent coaches, Dick Motta and Lenny Wilkins, who's done well, of course, St. Louis fans all remember him on his days with the Hawks. Boy, he's some basketball coach.
And I bet you thought Sonny and I didn't know anything about basketball, right?
Well, I would never think that.
Are you
There's
kidding?
nothing I would put beyond you men.
I had more basketball scholarships than I did football, but I started growing out instead of up, so they get rid of me.
I'll tell you, another guy who can stick it in the hole is your friend Kilmer. His shot is from the 1930s. He's got the one-hander from the corner. But you stick him in with the Washington Bullets and see who wins the shootout. He can put it in the hole, Kilmer. Kozakowicz takes a drop, throws, and Mel Gray has the ball, and he's not done yet. Mel Gray, back at full health, is inside the 25-yard line with 1:08 left to play in the first half.
What a great throw by this man right here. Boy, do they have a crossing pattern. Everybody crossing. And who do they get to? The man they want to more than anybody else, Mel Gray. Good, strong throw on a crossing pattern. Bobby Jackson covering. He avoids one tackle, keeps going. John Hennessy finally drags him down.
67 consecutive games for that man, Mel Gray, with a reception, Sonny.
Too
Absolutely
small to play
phenomenal.
pro football. Drafted in the 6th round out of Missouri. Now in his 8th year, been all pro. He's had that hamstring pull that's caused him some problems, but he was back at full speed, quite obviously.
I don't want to say anything, but I did call that play.
Very nicely done, Nick.
No, you called it the play before that. You said they were going long, and they threw the screen.
Well, but they couldn't get the play in time, see?
Oh,
they
that
read
was-
my mind.
Now show us something to call the next one. Tomorrow night on CBS, concerned citizens is what they want, but weirdos is what they get when WKRP in Cincinnati issues the call. Enjoy this new comedy tomorrow night, followed by People, which spotlights Wonder Woman, Linda Carter, the Electric Light Orchestra, superstar Diana Ross, Paul Newman, and others. MASH, One Day at a Time, and Lou Grant round out tomorrow night's top television lineup here on CBS.
Well, that WKRP is a gas, isn't it? That's wild.
It looks like one of your shows in Washington. So.
Are you kidding?
Jim Hart offering counsel as best he can to Steve Pizarkowicz. Just keep doing what you've been doing. Pizarkowicz has been intercepted once, but he is obviously a young man who is not faint of heart. He's right out there pitching it right into his own defense with 6 defensive backs running around a lot of plays.
I tell you, he's having more fun than anybody. I'm sure he'd like to win, but just to get off that bench and get on the football field and play, you've got to have confidence in yourself, and he's showing it right here today.
Give those unheralded offensive linemen a lot of credit. They're giving him the blocking.
Pizarkowicz looks, goes back the other way. A little too much on it for Pat Tilley. You get it near Tilley, he'll catch it.
And the reason he had too much on it is because Mike Hennigan was in his face as he got ready to deliver the ball.
Was he looking him off?
No, he didn't have a time to look off anybody then. You design, when you come to the line of scrimmage, you take a pre-read and decide which side you're going to throw the ball to begin with. But Hennigan came on a blitz and got in his face.
Looked like he threw across the field, Sonny, on that one. Looked like he started to the right and then went against the grain to the left.
Second and 10. Pizarkowicz throws. Too much on it. Tilley was running an in pattern. Mel Gray was running a fly. Wasn't near either of them.
Looked like the whole world was blitzing on that one, Don.
Yeah, they sent everybody. The scoreboard clock is broken. We're informed now that there's 36 seconds remaining in the first half. They've had some problems with it, so the official time is 36 seconds. That, of course, is a major consideration, a major problem for a young Cardinal quarterback trying to direct an offense, not knowing what the official time is.
It's just why you're kicking on. It must be shorter than that, being only third down here. Third down's on the clock, on the marker on the sideline.
That's right. Jim Bakken, 17th year. Points are up. The game is tied at 10. So with Roger Worley holding, Jim Bakken drills a field goal, and the Cardinals tie up the New York Jets 10-10.
And that puts Bakken down within 2 points of tying Lou Groza for the all-time lead. 1,344 career points.
It's a lot, isn't it?
Boy, that's a lot of kicks, isn't it?
I think Jim would like to have that kick back last week. It hit the crossbar against Dallas.
Tuesday night on CBS, Steve McQueen and Dustin Hoffman star in Papillon, the most thrilling escape adventure of all. Don't miss the 3-hour CBS special movie presentation, Papillon, Tuesday night starting at 8, 7 Central and Mountain Time here on CBS.
You see that? Great movie.
Great
Oh,
flick.
no, he had more moves than Derek Gaffney in that movie.
It's supposed to be true.
That's a great. I read the book. It's a super book, so the movie has to be tremendous.
Did you really read that? Book's too
I
long.
can read now.
It's too long for a linebacker to read.
Has a lot of pictures in it.
These are pictures, that's it. 31 seconds now, we're told, remains to be played in the first half. Jim Bakken hit the field goal for the Cardinals, tied the game. And now, Little will kick off. Steve Little ready to hit the ball for St. Louis. A sidewinder, he skips the ball intentionally downfield. It eludes Bruce Harper. That's a free football, and Harper picks it up inside the 5. And the Cardinals are going to close him down just across the 10-yard line. Mark Mosley's hit a 35-yard field goal for the Redskins. They now trail the Giants 10-6 in the second quarter.
Sonny, why did he kick the field goal on third down? I don't understand that. There must be 30 seconds left, and why didn't he go for the touchdown?
Had to be something to do with the
Interception
whether or not.
potential.
No, I don't think so. I think it had to be whether or not there is that much time left. With problems on the clock, you don't want to take any time and let the thing run out. But I would imagine that they would have, with 30 seconds to play, you'd go for another play.
Chuck Will, our producer, is giving us the official count on time, which he is getting from the sideline official. It's 26 seconds left in the first half now. Kevin Long turns the corner and doesn't get much as Mark Arneson grabbed down and rode him down.
What a gorgeous day here in New York, Don. I came in Friday night, and it's been absolutely beautiful for 3 days. Sensational, like Miami.
It's a big day in New York. Not only 2 pro football games, the Giants in Washington and the Cardinals and Jets, but 2 million people were watching the New York City Marathon. 11,000 runners competed. So the first half comes to an end, and the Cardinals and the Jets play through 2 quarters to a standoff, a 10-10 game. And I think, Sonny Jurgensen, you have to be complimentary in your assessment of Pizarkowicz getting his first start after playing only 2 downs from scrimmage in the regular season prior to this.
Definitely. I've been impressed with both quarterbacks, and especially Steve getting his first start. He handled himself well. He got a lift from the offensive line in the first drive where they took the ball and drove the length of the field and got on the board first. I think that was a big plus for him. He didn't get behind immediately and have to start putting the ball up. He should have had another touchdown. Remember the long pass. Don't forget the long pass that he threw to Mel Gray that couldn't find the ball in the sun.
Good point.
Or he would have had another touchdown on his very first throw in the game. They could be leading this game very easily.
Nick, if you were a coach and you looked over this talent out here, who are some of the best young players you've seen?
Well, right away, of course, comes to mind has to be Long, the fullback, for New York. Also, Wesley Walker, the second-year man out of Cal. That man just has so much fluidity, and I say that because he just runs his patterns without breaking stride. He sets up the defensive back before he makes his move. And of course, the other one is Derek Gaffney. Again, another youngster who played quarterback at the University of Florida, haunted the Miami Hurricanes for all those 4 years he played there. But then now he's also coming into his own. Anytime you have a team with such little experience performing the way they have today and all year long, then you have a lot of bright spots on a ball club.
Sonny, we hear so much conversation watching pro football and hearing coaches talk about the problem of young quarterbacks reading defenses. They say that's the key to really becoming a proficient National Football League quarterback. What are some of the things you look for when you read defenses?
Reading defenses starts during the week at home. When you're sitting at home looking at films, that's where you learn how to read defenses, and then you just react once you get on the football field. But that's an individual thing because that's where you have to learn it.
You do that in the screening room for the most part. All right, the score at the half here at Shea Stadium in New York, the Jets 10 and the Cardinals 10. As the marching bands come out onto the field, we have a cast of thousands here, and it is a lovely day. The temperature at game time was about 68 degrees. It's risen considerably since then. It might be in the mid-70s now. Humidity not a factor, and very fortunately for both teams, wind is not a factor. Very often it can be here at Shea, as the stadium is a horseshoe-type facility located right on Flushing Bay, and the winds can gust in here, and you can get flags blown about 6 different directions.
This is the first time you can notice the infield of the stadium down there. This is the first week that they've put down grass. It has to be the best condition, Nick, that I've ever seen this football field. You've played here many times. I've never seen a better day in Shea Stadium.
3 worst stadiums in the league. I can name them right off. Used to be coming here to Shea Stadium. The end of November, 1st of December, that wind used to be whipping off LaGuardia. Coming into this stadium, it was absolutely incredible. The other one, Baltimore, which is still horrible. And the third one, Washington, which they finally resodded.
Boo!
What a blow that is.
Are they going to pick it up in the studio?
High wind to Washington. Bucky never showed up, huh? Chuck?
Typical New York star now, huh?
Hey, the most MVP.
We need our jackets. We don't have our jackets.
We don't need jackets, do we?
We don't have our jackets.
Wait.
All right.
Jackets?
I can turn around.
Want your jackets? Jesus.
It's just a juggling act.
Right.
All the props.
Okay. Well, you can call me Nick. You can.
New York Live. Some of you are waiting because we were hoping that another network could join us, and they did. Let's take you around the league right now. Many of you are watching this game, Chicago and Tampa Bay. The Buccaneers lead it by 3, 13-10 at the half. The rest of you are watching this contest, which is tied at the half, St. Louis 10 and the Jets 10. The New York Giants have just scored again. They are dominating the Washington Redskins in the Meadowlands late in the second quarter, 17-6. Buffalo and Cincinnati at the half. Chuck Knox's Bills are ahead by a field goal. San Diego and Detroit. So far it has been all Detroit, 24-7. That game in the second quarter in Pontiac, Michigan. Green Bay and Minnesota scoreless in the first quarter, so important today for the Vikes to get back in the W column. Philadelphia and Dallas scoreless in the first. Dorsett not playing, Martin not playing for the Cowboys. Cleveland leading Kansas City by a field goal. That game is in the first quarter. And Jane, how about the New York Marathon? How'd that turn out?
Well, Brent, more than 2 million people lined the streets earlier today to watch the New York Marathon. And one of those who was waiting at the finish line was Jack Whitaker. So now let's go to a report from Jack Whitaker.
Welcome to Central Park in the city of New York on a beautiful autumn day and one of the greatest days this great city has ever seen. The 9th annual New York City Marathon is coming to an end. Bill Rogers about to win his 3rd consecutive title. In the women's division, a mystery lady. Number 1173 is leading at this point. We don't yet know her name. It all began at 10:30 this morning. 11,142 men, women, and children started running on the Staten Island side of the Verrazano Bridge. An incredible sight on this warm autumn morning. Every state in the Union except South Dakota was represented as these runners attempted the 26 miles, 385 yards of the marathon distance through the 5 boroughs of the city of New York. Over 1,100 women are competing. 1,458 lawyers, doctors, and dentists. 71-year-old Walter Stack of San Francisco. 9-year-old Howard Brynan of Connecticut. Runners from 28 countries, housewives, ballet dancers, and 4,800 people who have never run in a marathon before make up this joyous group who celebrate the biggest day that running, the sport of the 70s, has ever seen. We are looking down now at the finish line, the last 385 yards that they will run. As we told you, Bill Rogers, the defending champion, the record holder for this event, he took over the lead at the 8-mile mark along with Gary Bjorklund. Gary Bjorklund and he dueled until 15 miles, and now here he comes, all by himself, an exotic and joyous Bill Rogers, about to wrap up his 3rd consecutive New York City Marathon title. And listen to this crowd. All right, here we are with the winner, Bill Rogers, his 3rd straight, and you are Mr. New York right now.
Well, it's a pleasure to be that way, I'll tell you. It was very intense pace early in the race.
Why was that? Because of the great competition?
Only one runner. Well, first Ian Thompson from England, and then Gary Bjorklund busted it wide open too early. And I knew that he was making a mistake. It was too early. And about 10 miles, he seemed to suddenly falter.
That was from about 8 miles to 15 miles in that stretch. Were you right together?
Yeah, right on 13 miles, 10, 12 miles. And we decided, we told each other we'd run with each other for a little while. But then I knew that it was either, you know, if it had been later on, I would have considered tying with him. But this way, it looked like it might be risky to win, so I decided to go on ahead, you know.
Well, what you did was absolutely correct. Terrific, Bill. Congratulations. You are the hero of this country right now.
I'll be back next year.
Attaboy. Back to you now, Brent.
All right, Jack, thank you very much. Jane, the fastest woman, has one come across yet?
Yes, Greta White's, and as a matter of fact, her time was a record. She came in 2 hours, 32 minutes, and 12 seconds, and she was one of those people that was the first at ever running a marathon distance.
What a chauvinist I am. What, over 4 hours since this? Of course we've had women come in.
Of course.
Listen.
Of course.
Out in Chicago, where Johnny Morris works, Richard Waldo is a sports producer. We're going to show you a package that they put together after the Dallas-Washington. It was a Monday night game, and apparently Robert Newhouse was tipping the offensive plays for the Cowboys. This is somewhat tough to see. He's the right running back. Do you see the mouthpiece dangling down as he goes out? I know it's tough, but every time the mouthpiece was hanging down, Staubach went back to pass. Now let's show it to you again. Now here he is coming right at you in motion. Do you see it dangling down? It's one of those that's tied up with a face mask there. And that meant that Staubach was going to go back and pass. And whenever the mouthpiece was inside the mouth, such as this sequence right here, the Cowboys were coming with a running play. Now, Irv, could the Washington Redskins have been picking this up?
No question, Brent. They could have used that as a key. You know, many players develop all sorts of characteristics in their running and passing style. Some players lean one way or the other, and oftentimes will tip plays.
Now, watch last week, Irv. Different mouthpiece, one that was in for running and for passing plays. And the NFL Today will continue on CBS right after these messages from your local stations.
The grass is always greener over the septic tank comes to television. Starring Carol Burnett and Charles Grodin. A very funny look at life, Wednesday at 9, 8 Central and Mountain.
This is CBS.
Don isn't even here. Do you want us dressed?
You don't want us dressed?
Coat, coat, coat. Mr. Criquet is not here, but we're okay. 35 seconds, guys. Okay. You're not coming to us on camera in 35 seconds, are you? You want us to turn around, or you want us the same way? Here he is, here he is. Okay. You can call me Don, and you can call me Cricky. 15 seconds, Don. 10 seconds. We can start.
All right, here we are back at Shea Stadium in New York on this lovely October day. And the score at halftime is the Cardinals 10 and the New York Jets 10. And very shortly we'll be back with the opening kickoff to start the second half, as the Cardinals will have the ball teed off and they'll be kicking off to the Jets.
Any hot dogs or anything?
Okay.
All right.
Very good, sir.
We need our jackets? Yes.
Okay.
Does that mean for a short period of time?
How's the neck sound, all right?
My hair's messed up. Can you fix my coffee?
Nick, you're getting a little gray.
Detroit's out 34-7.
There they are, ladies and gentlemen. Monty Clark's Detroit Lions.
Boy, that was
pummeling the San Diego Chargers, and Don Coryell, ex-coach of the Cardinals.
Hey, that's a great tip of the week.
Card 5.
I love it. That's a sure thing.
What does it say? Just tell me, I'll memorize it. The preceding league. Come on, Joni, get together now. Get your stuff together, Joni.
The game's underway.
Got another Paisan up here in Bonacani, Joni.
Typical Marvin Muse. You're stepping on my cord, someone.
Oh, it gets so hectic up here. so nervous.
So nervous.
It's kill the light. Jeez.
Sunny as in money.
Light.
The preceding announcement was brought to you as a public service by the National Football League. Now we're ready to go to open the second half. Steve Little has the ball teed up for the Cardinals to your left. Back deep for the Jets, Darnell Powell and Bruce Harper. This is Harper at the goal line. Left the football behind. Pick that up, Bruce. That's a must. And the Cardinals knock him down at the 10.
That's good coaching, Don.
Got to have that. Do not run forward without the football. That's rule number 1. Now, rule number 1 is wear your hat on the field. Play with a helmet on. Willard Harrell came down to make the play on special team for St. Louis. So the Cardinals might be tough. They were ahead 7-0. Fell behind 10-7, then tied it just before halftime on the Bakken field goal. And so we start the third quarter with a 10-10 game with the Jets in a hole. 1st and 10 at their 11. Very little gain on that as Scott Durking got the call and the Cardinals closed it right down. Here's some first half stats for you to analyze, Nick and Sonny.
You know, the Cardinals very surprisingly rushing for more yards than the Jets. The Jets have been averaging what, 190 or 200 yards a game. I think that's the biggest stat. Now the Jets in passing yards is about even.
Hey, the Lions are putting a hurting on San Diego. It's now 31-7. Here's a handoff to Scott Durking. He's across the 15. That's going to bring up 3rd and about 5. Ken Green, the strong safety, number 37, first-year player from Washington State, where he played under the present coach at Missouri, Warren Powers, as a collegian.
I'll tell you how accurate Sonny is. Sonny predicted. He says San Diego's has to rebound. Detroit 34, San Diego 7. Boy, I'm glad you're not coaching.
Dawson is the middle guard for St. Louis. Pollard is at one end. John Zook the other. As Robinson drops to throw. Arneson was coming on a blitz. That ball hit somebody he wasn't supposed to, as I think he had a little less height than he needed in that one, Sonny. That was about shoulder pad high.
He tried to reload and he ended up hitting a lineman. Good defense. He didn't have anybody to throw to when he wanted to.
You know, the same thing though. Matt Robinson hanging in the pocket though, Sonny. I still think that's a real tribute to a young man like that, because most guys, when they feel pressure, like to get out of that pocket and start to scramble. I think the trademark of a good quarterback is hanging in there, and that's what he's doing.
Anybody would get out if you had the ability to get out.
Chuck Ramsey back deep now for the Jets, standing inside his 5-yard line to punt. Cardinals set up a return. Ramsey hits it well. Willard Harrell backpedaling to the 35, 40, 45. Whoops. Something about he who hesitates as the Jets catch Willard Harrell, knocked him down. Kevin Bell was the first man down to get him. So when we return, it'll be the Cardinals on offense for the first time here in the third quarter, with this game tied 10-10.
No, we need hot dogs.
Never got a hot dog.
Chuck, I thought he was coming.
He's gone.
All indications where I talked to him yesterday, he was coming. And I don't know what happened to the guy.
Hey,
Hart and Zark.
Bucky Dent went to winter baseball.
That's right. He's in Venezuela.
Let me take this to set some lineups now. I want to go into this Cardinal. All right, the Cardinals break the huddle. A makeshift offensive line, not makeshift, but revamped because of injuries. Brahaney's the center. Tom Banks is playing left guard. Terry Steve, the right guard, and running right behind that interior line and straight ahead out to the 49-yard line are the Cardinal backs. They're getting some good yardage, gunning it straight out. Greg Buttle came up to make the hit on that play as Jim Otis brought the ball ahead for a gain of about almost 7 yards.
Well, I don't know if that's right. 31-7. They corrected it. Before it was 34-7. Detroit way out ahead of San Diego. Boy, I got you. Monty Clark right now is relaxing for the first time in over 2 years.
Yeah. Another handoff, and Jim Otis is knocked down this time. Playing off the blocks nicely was Jackson, Bobby Jackson, the left corner.
Jim Otis trying to run like Terry Metcalf that time, trying to be elusive. They didn't quite get it. You know, I watched the Cardinals against the Miami Dolphins down in Miami. And that Cardinal ball club fought and scratched and was in the game all the way up until the fourth quarter when there was a blocked punt. And then Miami took it in to win. But they were a good football team that day. They were a good football team against Dallas last week, and they're good today.
Kozakowicz pitches it back. That's a free ball. Greg Buttle picks up the football. The ball's going to come back. He can't run a fumble in.
Can he run a lateral in? How about a lateral?
I think you can run a fumble in.
You can run a fumble in, but not a lateral. That's right.
You can't run a lateral.
Only the offensive team can pick up a fumble lateral and advance it. Defensive team can only recover for a fumble recovery.
It was a lateral. They were running the option. He pitched it, but I tell you,
and that's always the question: was it a lateral? You got to look and see just how the ball was pitched back. Cal Lepore said it was a fumbled lateral.
Spot of recovery, first down.
Well, we know one thing: Buttle can run.
Yeah.
Well, you can bunch that play.
Yeah. Back to the drawing board.
That's one you file away in a round filing cabinet.
Robinson on first down looks to burn the Cardinals. Now he's going to run with the ball. And he's ahead for about 11 yards.
Well, he was looking at Derek Gaffney, the wide receiver, all the way. And the opening come up the middle, and Robinson, who doesn't have particularly quick feet, found the big enough hole to make the first down. I'm sure Walt Michaels on the sideline is not too happy about his running.
Well, I'm glad you didn't do games when I played. Talking about somebody's quick feet.
We never worried about you, so that's one thing we never worried in the game plan was your scrambling.
First and 10 now. The Jets on a turnover, driving back with the ball. Clark Gaines runs it inside the 25-yard line. Kevin Long in the backfield with him. Long coming into the game as the Jets are alternating play calling with running backs. Gaines goes out. Bob Pollard and Tim Carney on the stop for the Cardinals.
Linebackers are much improved since Williams has come back to join that core. It really gives them a lot of strength in the middle.
Eric Williams, one of the interior linebackers. Niels and Arneson are the outside linebackers. Alderman in the middle with Williams. Handoff as the Jets pound the ball right at the St. Louis Cardinals on a second down and 6. They advance the ball to the 20. Arneson was on the stop along with the middle guard, Mike Dawson.
You know, you're looking at the St. Louis Cardinals, and you have to feel for the entire organization. But in talking to the other football teams about playing them, you can't imagine. I tell you, it's a lot of respect for that football team. Personnel-wise, quality of people-wise, everybody feels the same way.
Kevin Long was looking to run with the ball before he had caught it. And so it goes as an incomplete pass, brings up fourth down, and Pat Leahy, the #1 scorer in the National Football League, the Jet place kicker out of St. Louis University, comes on the field.
Just to touch upon that again a little bit, Don. I was talking with Derek Gaffney on the field. He said, I'd rather be playing Pittsburgh than St. Louis. Just kind of a straight thought. That's the kind of respect they have. He said, we know what kind of football team this is. This is a good football team. They're not a 0-7 football team.
That's for sure. Dallas Cowboys got out of there with their uniforms in an overtime win. Leahy hits it hard. Boy, he has been so tough. Pat Leahy hits another long one. And the Jets again break the tie, and it's now a 13-10 game. The Jets in the lead.
Hi, down there in the East End.
Mrs. Bizarkowitz.
Would you raise your hand?
They're related to the new Pope.
Everybody is now, you know. Well, Bob Young on the sideline, 64, finished second in it last year, and he's with the Cardinals. Here's one at Kansas City, Arrowhead Stadium. The Chiefs and the Browns locked up on a field goal for a piece, 3-3 in the first quarter.
Sam Martigliano, the head coach, is having some rough sledding for the Cleveland lately.
Jim Childs returns the kickoff, and again the Jets are down to cover, hit quickly. Got it past the 15-yard line. Jets fired up right now. Here's how the Jets scoring drive broke down. A field goal by Leahy, the payoff end, and the Jets lead the game 13-10 in the third quarter. We have 9:57 to play, and apparently the stadium clock is working again here, Nick.
Thank God. Now Pisarkowitz can look back and see how much time remains. I would say right down here they'll feature Jim Otis, the fullback. He's been the most consistent ball carrier. He holds on to the ball real well.
Hand off to Jim Otis. He comes across the 20 out to the 21-yard line. Mike Hennigan makes the hit.
That's what made you good playing defense. You anticipated what the offense was doing, huh?
No, I guessed.
I wasn't going to say that.
It was wrong many, many times.
How about Deerdorf at right tackle, Sonny, for the Cardinals?
Could be the best in football.
He's leading the blocking on this play as Wayne Morris turns the corner. Doesn't get too much. I know your friend Ron McDowell from the Redskins feels he's a full afternoon, doesn't he?
Well, right then he took Lawrence Pillas all the way to the sidelines and pushed him out of bounds, and Morris didn't cut back in, and they pushed him into the play. But Ron McDowell, who goes about 285, 290, just about as big as he is, he said that, you know, when you line up in front of him, he's so big you can't even see the backfield.
Between McDowell and Deerdorf, they cast a shadow over the entire field.
He said they waltz around a little bit and dance a little bit.
Third down and a long 3 for the Cardinals. Pisarkowitz takes a look. Fires. Just too much on it for Mel Gray. Gray was open. And Pisarkowitz has got a cannon arm, and the ball came in very hard. And so the Cardinals will have to punt the ball back to the Jets now.
Jim Otis on that series became the second leading rusher in Cardinal history. Absolutely super. I think Johnny Rowland is the #1 rusher for the Cardinals, and I think he just surpassed a great running back in his day, John David Crow.
Well, what an accomplishment that is for Jim Otis to come in. There you see him. But to come in and be traded from team to team and, you know, come in there to the Cardinals, and one time they didn't know whether or not he had the speed or the size to play today.
Little's punt carries downfield to Bruce Harper at the Jet 37. They set up a return, and Harper breaks it. And Harper's all the way back inside the 35-yard line.
Boy, did he show a little burst of speed.
Oh, that was a great blocking, though, by the Jets. They had that set up. It was a line drive punt. And it was run back right down their throats. And number 51, Brahaney, the center, is limping off the field. And we'll be back after this.
Well, you know, they said in that, Don,
Yeah.
in the Washington game, besides Parrish going out, Beasley Reese broke his leg.
Who's Beasley Reese?
He's a
Giants
safety.
strong safety.
I don't want to see it again.
Makes that Monday night show that Sonny has much more difficult with
How about
Pardee.
Monday night, what about
I don't know, what is your
Monday
show?
night is a live show we do with a player. It's on Friday night. I tape the Pardee show.
Oh.
And you think that's fun?
Where's the hot dog?
How long were those field goals? Do we have any? How long were those field goals? More stats if you can get them. Thank you. Dallas has jumped out to a 7. Here we are back at Shea Stadium, right across the river, actually two rivers, the East and the Hudson, and the island of Manhattan. The Giants are playing Washington. You see that score 17-6, been some injuries in that game. Here's a throw to Derek Gaffney. Matt Robinson fires the ball in, and Gaffney, the rookie from Florida, turning in, makes the reception on the free safety Ken Stone.
Watch him pump this ball. He pumps the thing. There's a fake. Comes right back, moves left in the pocket. Boy, what a good throw he makes then.
But he take a hit by Yankowski. Just as he let the ball go, Yankowski pounded Robinson.
Hey, Carl Allen was beaten very badly on that coverage. Durking running straight ahead. Touchdown, Jets. All of a sudden, the Jets rally from a 10-10 halftime tie with a field goal, and now a hard driving touchdown run by Scott Durking.
Well, you know why they're fifth in the American Football Conference in rushing. Look at this play, all the way in. Good hard running and good blocking at the point of attack.
Again, number 66, Randy Rasmussen, 12-year veteran, making the key block on that play.
And Pat Leahy converts the extra point, and so the Jets now move out to a 20-10 lead. We have 8 minutes and 22 seconds to play in the third quarter. Well, that's got to be the worst scoreboard I've ever seen. You can't read it.
What? Get some hot dogs. Go ahead. Get some hot dogs, too. Will you? Hey, go in the press room. Go. Bring some hot dogs. All right.
Okay.
All the way on this arrow.
Here is the replay of the touchdown run by Scott Durking.
66, Randy Rasmussen leading up through the hole, opens it up, and Durking, just with tough, hard-nosed football, plunges into the end zone for the Jets.
Now live action. Here's the kickoff. It carries into the end zone for a touchback. So the Cardinals will get it out to their 20 with a going offense, 1st and 10, trailing 20-10 with 8:15 to play in the third quarter. Sonny?
Well, the ball control of the Cardinals is going to have to go for naught, Don, because they're going to have to get the ball in the air right now. I know the game plan before was for Prosarka was to keep the ball on the ground, work Otis, work Morris, occasionally throw the football, but now they're going to have to open it up to Gray and to Tilly.
Yeah, that's, I think, very definitely the case, Nick. Here's Jim Hart on the sidelines. He's been counseling Steve Pizarkowicz at halftime. Get back in it. The Cardinals are going to have to throw. And that's what Steve Pizarkowicz is ready to do. He puts it up. Man is open. Mel Gray, the ball is a little high again. They're very close to connections. Very close.
Well, unfortunately, close is only good in horseshoes, but but on that particular play, again,
Dancing,
Gray had his
like
man beat, and dancing. He had his man beaten very bad, Bobby Jackson, the cornerback, but the ball was thrown just a tad behind him, and Gray had to make an acrobatic effort. That's a real good ball game,
Hey,
Don. 16 to 13. Tampa Bay's coming. For Chicago, just a little bit more juice so far.
Second down and 10, as you see. Pizarkowicz, the quarterback. Al Chandler, the tight end, goes in motion. The handoff goes to Wayne Morris. And the Jets, who were burned early in the game, you recall, with a couple of draw plays, Morris carrying, and Otis, have been keying on it down long yardage plays, and that time they knock it right down. Klecko, number 73, the right tackle, and Greg Buttle, 51, were on the stop.
Big black and blue division game right here. Minnesota jumping out ahead. Bart Starr surprising Packard 7-0 in the second quarter.
Harkinen just threw 16 yards to Chuck Foreman for the go-ahead score for Minnesota.
Not a bad combination.
Hey, how about it? Foreman's fabulous back. Harkinen's been outstanding for a lot of years. Pizarkowicz throws and just missed a connection, and in fairness to Pizarkowicz, as soon as he started to release the ball, he was just nailed.
Well, give that credit to Joe Klico, a big favorite here. Watch number 73 come pouring into the right. He just lays into Pizarkowicz right here, just as Joe tries to release the football. Good play.
So now the Cardinals are forced to punt again as Bruce Harper drops back deep for the Jets, standing at about his 45-yard line. Looks like Jim Bakken in the game to punt. Cardinals have Bakken in to punt right now. I don't know, they drafted Steve Little to be the place kicker and the punter, and Bakken is ending up doing both in the 17th season. I don't know if Little might have pulled a muscle on a kickoff or what. Harper not done yet, keeps going. There's a penalty marker down.
There was definitely clipping on that play, Don, but I think the problem with Little is the last time that he was up, he line drive that punt. And he's little, I think that's the reason he's not playing. He's sitting on the bench. Doesn't look like there's anything wrong with him, but I don't know.
He looks like he could have taken a hit. He's feeling some pain, Ed. Have someone down talking with him. I think he got hurt. He must have gotten hurt. So Bakken to come out. Boy, when you come into the league as a specialist, to be drafted number one as a kicker, and then get hurt your first year.
That's tough. But, you know, I guess the big complaint, if you have a complaint against a rookie like Little, was that the reason he's not kicking the field goals.
Personal foul, clipping, 50 on the return, first down.
Is that he's not getting the trajectory. Sonny, the ball is coming on a line drive more than getting it up in the air, and that's the problem. So that's why Bakken's doing all the field goal kicking.
I would imagine a lot of that has to do with the fact that you kick off a tee in college, and when you come into the pros, you have to kick the thing off the ground. And being a sidewinder, they have the tendency to kick the ball low, and that is a problem.
Next Saturday at 4:30 Eastern Time, the CBS Sports Spectacular. It features a shootout of the Phoenix 150 for USAC National Championship in auto driving. Al Unser and defending USAC champion Tom Sneva go head-to-head. For Unser to win the national title, Sneva must finish worse than 10th, and Unser must win the race. Keep in mind, of course, in these races, there's usually 60 to 70% breakdowns. You'll also see World's Strongest Men competition, an event that Bob Young of the Cardinals finished second in last year. The event this week is the car lift. Next week they lift buildings.
What kind of car?
I don't know.
Namath and Jergy are going to enter that one.
Namath's out in California. having recently been canceled, but hoping for the best. Doing very nicely, though. Bought a house in Beverly Hills. Robinson throws. Long goes for the ball, and the Cardinals have it broken up. Right now the score is the Jets 20 and the Cardinals 10. Get a feeling, Sonny, there might be some kind of a stake now. There's a lot of open plays and a lot of defensive people near footballs.
John Zook really put the rush in on that little screen back to the left side, and Zook came through free and got right in Robinson's face. Forced him to make a bad throw.
Let's see right now if they pick on Carl Allen again. They've been going after him. That's number 27, the left cornerback. Not putting the rap on Carl at all, but boy, they've been going after him.
Derek Gaffney's against him. All-Pro Roger Worley's against Wesley Walker. Pitch back, a flea flicker, but it's not going to work out very well as Matt Robinson goes back all the way at the 21-yard line. And a penalty marker goes down on top of a Cardinal. Kurt Allerman. Personal foul against the Cardinals. Ooh, that hurts.
Well, they haven't had a break yet, have they?
They sure haven't. That was an obvious flea flicker, Don. That was supposed to be that type of a play where the running back goes into the line, turns around, tosses it back to the quarterback. But it looks like the Cardinals had it in their playbook more than the Jets did. 15-yard penalty.
Robinson never got a chance to find a receiver. Had all kinds of people out in the open.
I'll tell you, the Cardinals saw all they wanted of the flea flicker last week when Roger Staubach scored a touchdown pass for one off a flea flicker.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. 5-0 defense. First down.
Allerman called for the personal foul.
There it is. There's a lateral going back. Everybody chasing now. And watch Allerman coming in at number 50, and right there, he kind of spears a quarterback when he's down.
First and 10 on the defensive penalty. Here is Scott Durkin running hard. Penalty markers go down.
Well, he's grabbing his left knee, Sonny. I guess he did hurt it. Oh, it's right knee.
Right knee's got an ice pack on it. He did get hurt, and that's the reason Bakken was forced into punting the football.
They're playing on a grass field. This is the home of the baseball Mets, as you know, as any Cardinal fan would know, baseball Cardinal, and they've just filled in the dirt infield with grass. Oftentimes it doesn't take in real strongly. Can make for loose footing and twisted knees on occasion. We don't know if that's what happened to Steve Little, but he does have an ice pack on his knee, which is not a good indication.
We'll try to get some information on it, but that's the first time Jim Bakken has had to punt since 1972. Gives you an indication.
That was a good punt he had, too. I think it was 41-yard punt. Nothing shabby about that one.
Yeah, but that's counting the roll.
Here we go again.
Counts. Roll counts.
Unnecessary roughness again against the Cardinals. They're killing themselves. That's right now. That's 30 yards in penalties. 2 plays.
Offside, defense, penalty decline, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, 56 defense, first down.
Well, you can't say they're not moving it around a little. At least they're not calling it on the same players.
Well, I think a lot of this comes from frustration. Just trying to make a play and make something happen.
Kevin Long runs right into the guts, and here is another penalty marker down. Dawson, the middle guard, was on the play along with John Zook. See if this isn't a hold against the Jets.
Well, what do you know? The Cardinals finally get a break. Well, he gave them 30 against. Now they're evening it up a little bit, and they're going to get 15 against the Jets, so they're only down on the minus side 15 yards.
Are you saying the officials are trying to even it up?
No, not at all.
The third quarter clock shows 6 minutes and 42 seconds to play. And here's Cal Lepore.
Holding, center, offense, first down.
Joe Fields, number 65, the center for the Jets. A guy that might be interesting for you to watch if you want to single out an offensive lineman is the left tackle for the Jets, number 72, Chris Ward. He's the second player in from the bottom of your screen there. Number 1, draft choice out of Ohio State. Look at him move that defensive line out, and Durkin goes right behind him.
Talking to the coaches about Chris Ward, the #1 draft choice out of Ohio State, they feel, and I know this is an awful broad statement, but they feel right now he's probably one of the best blocking offensive linemen in the NFL, and he's a rookie.
He must do a good job here.
Run blocking, yes.
He does an excellent job here. He takes his man out, and look at the cavity he creates. You see where he's got John Zook.
God almighty.
He's taking John Zook out of bounds.
Well, he had Dutton downfield 5 yards every play last week against Baltimore. The Jets blew out the Colts. Here's a pitch back to the other side now. Durkin, who's run hard, comes across the 45-yard line. Cardinal linebacker Phil nicely, and another penalty marker comes down. Tim Carney, 56, was up to make the play.
Now the officials are taking a very active part in the game, and it's starting to rain handkerchiefs on every play. I know that kills the continuity of both teams, the defensive ball club and the offensive club, because if you make a good play and there's a penalty, it really kills you.
Officials are just becoming conscientious.
Well, they are on television, Sonny. I mean,
now, how about you two now? Nick, you played 15 years, and Sonny, you played how many? 15?
73.
Would you believe 18?
18 years. What about the caliber officiating after we hear this call?
Holding, 72, offense, second down.
That was Chris Ward. Has the officiating changed much, the quality of it?
I think they do a tremendous job. I honestly do. What a difficult game it is to officiate. You do have the human element involved in the thing. They make mistakes. Players make mistakes. If you were a player and didn't make a mistake, then you have a right to gripe. But if you make a mistake, then you got to expect the officials also to make mistakes. They do the best job they can.
The only thing I know, Don, is that it's an awful large magnification with instant replay. I mean, we show the people exactly what is happening from a microscopic point of view. And that's never happened in the past. And so this way here becomes quite obvious when an official does make a mistake. And I think this is an awful lot of pressure on a guy.
Well, they say 95% of the time, if they grade out the films, they come out correct, but that 5% really hurts when it's magnified, as you pointed out, Nick.
It's called human error.
Third down now, and long yardage for the Jets. Third and about 25. Robinson not too deep a drop, starts to run, and the Cardinals sweep him under. Cardinals can come out of this with good field position now as they'll get the ball back on a punt. Bob Pollard and Mike Dawson coming hard on the pass rush. Tampa Bay leading Chicago 19-16 third quarter. Doug Williams ran it in for a yard for Tampa Bay after Roland Harper scored in a 2-yard run for Chicago.
You would think the Cardinals might be ready to roll over and play dead right now, trailing 20-10, but they're not. You saw what their defense went on the field and stopped them after two big 30 yards in penalties. They come up and stop them. They're going to come away with the football again. That's the thing you have to admire about them. They don't quit.
Here's a snap. The ball is hit end downfield by Chuck Ramsey. Willard Harrell, who's done a big job in returns for the Cardinals, is doing it again. Willard Harrell breaks across the 35 and out to the 37. Diminutive back out of Pacific University. Tampa Bay plays Green Bay. Consult your local listings for the game and time in your area. All the action begins with the NFL Today with Brent Musburger, Jane Kennedy, and Ernst Cross a half hour before kickoff. It's 1st and 10 Cardinals. They trail 20-10. Third quarter. Bizarkowitz play faking, swings it out to Wayne Morris. The Jets, who have 4 very aggressive linebackers led by Bob Martin on that play, make a stop after a short gain.
Good play action pass. What it did is it freed up Morris one-on-one with the linebacker, and he does have a little better speed going to the outside because he's running away from the outside linebacker. So it's an easy toss for Bizarkowitz, and it puts him in a good position, 2nd and 4, to either run or pass, and the Jets now have to play it honest.
Bizarkowitz with 2nd down and 4 coming up. He gets a nice option here after a good gain on 1st down. Will he go to that draw up the middle? He's going to take it himself. Gets ahead for a couple of yards. It'll bring up 3rd down and 2. Now it gets tougher for him as Klecko stayed right with him and made the tackle. 73. Joe Klecko's a tough guy, the right tackle for the Jets. Went to Temple, was a truck driver for a while before he went to Temple. was an Eastern AAU boxing champion, tough enough to get in the ring and spar with Joe Frazier when he was the world champion down in Philadelphia.
I want to see what kind of job the Jet secondary is doing on Mel Gray and Tilley. Pat Tilley doesn't have a catch yet, and Mel Gray only has one reception by the outside receivers.
Zarkowitz sees a big rush and ducks straight ahead, trying to get the first down yardage. He did not. He got to the 45. He had to get to the 47, and so the Cardinals will punt the ball back.
I think that was a design play, a quarterback draw play. They didn't come up enough for the first down.
Zarkowitz is not throwing that badly, Sonny, where you can't put the ball in the air. But the man is a decent quarterback with a strong arm. I wouldn't be afraid to throw it up. You're not supposed to win the game anyways.
He's been put, don't tell them that.
I know it, but I'm saying why not throw the football? I think the man has a good arm.
Bakken hits a spiral downfield that carries to the 20. Right ahead is Bruce Harper. We've had some impressive returns, some Harper for the Jets and Harrell for the Cardinals. The ball's advanced out across the 35-yard line to the 37. The NBA on CBS returns next Friday night with the world champion Washington Bullets going against the Golden State Warriors and the Milwaukee Bucks taking on Seattle. Consult your local listings for the game and time in your area. That's NBA basketball next Friday at 11:30 Eastern Time, 10:30 Central here on CBS.
Sonny, only thing I'm saying is I like to put pressure on that defense. I like to see the man get back there, mix it up, throw the football when he has to. Don't be afraid to go to a great receiver like Gray and Tilley.
Oh, I agree with you 100%. The problem is now they trail 20-10, and they're expecting to throw every time. But if they're going to win the football game, they're going to have to put it up. A great run again by Scott Durkin.
Scott Durkin runs hard and gets out to the 49-yard line.
I'll get redundant about this, but watch number 66, Rasmussen, leading up through the hole, making a good block on Green, which brings Durkin for the good yards.
They have a couple coaches keep Randy Rasmussen from walking out of camp as a rookie. Just didn't figure he had it from Kearney State in Nebraska to make it in the NFL. It's now his 13th season. Played in a Super Bowl championship team. He's been one of the Jets' best linemen for years. You don't have to be a number one from a big school.
No, you don't. I'll tell you, we had a few bloodbaths here. Dave Herman, one guard, and Rasmussen and John Schmidt, the center. A little blood was spilled out there on that field.
Kazarchik's thrown the ball 12 times. He's completed 4 for 62 yards, was intercepted 1 time. Right now, the Jets have the ball. 2nd down and 7 coming up from the St. Louis 48-yard line. Jets lead 20-10. We're in the 3rd quarter. Game was tied at the half 10-10. Robinson takes a look. Gets it to his tight end, and the hit is made by Eric Williams short of a first down. It'll be 3rd and about 1.5. Zarkowitz with 4 for 12.
And moving him right now, the Cardinals need a big play defensively. They need a turnover, a fumble or something. Get them back in the football game. 20-10. They can't afford to let the Jets control the football.
Ever was a big play defensively for the Cardinals. This has to be it.
Handoff goes, and Durkin breaks the crust again, gets the first down and plenty more as he drives the ball inside the 35-yard line down to the 32. Ken Stone, the free safety, makes the hit.
From ground level, you can see good blocking, good block by Kevin Long, and they open up a big hole on that side, kicking the linebacker out, blocking down on Bob Pollard, and they created a big hole there and broke it for the first down.
1st and 10 Jets, 31-yard line of the Cardinals. 56 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter.
They're content, right? Run the
Durkin
football.
again. Yep, go with that hard back, tough back, doesn't fumble the ball, has not this season.
That's nice, Don, when you can give it to a ball carrier like that, knowing he's going to hand on to the football, run hard, get tough yards for you.
Like Zonka used to be with Miami.
One time I was on the bench with Zonka, and I turned to the guy and said, boy, I hope he gets the ball, he never fumbles. Next play, he dropped it.
Second down and 7 now for the Jets. They're leading 20-10 as the third quarter winds out.
Safety blitz.
They picked it up though, and Robinson gets time. There's a man open in the end zone. Down the far sideline, Wesley Walker wanting the fly pad. It looked like he got shot.
I think they called an audible. They showed the blitz a little early. He changed the play at the line of scrimmage and threw the go pattern to Walker. But I think Walker shied away a little bit from the stadium because he almost was going to run into the stadium. You see he has good pickup, kept his backs in. Look at this football, how close it is. Ball is out of bounds, but he's getting very close to our CBS Sports sign there. There's a lot of protection in that. He would have bounced off of that.
Yeah, there's a nice hard brick wall behind it. Third down now, coming up for the Jets. 27-yard line, 3rd and 7. Robinson looks, throws. Broken up nicely by Roger Worley. Gaffney had a play on it after the ball was tipped, but that'll bring up 4th down now for the Jets, and they send out Pat Leahy.
But again, the Cardinal defense rises to the occasion to stop the New York Jets.
They're blitzing every time now, Sonny. They have to do something to cause them confusion. Get Matt Robinson thinking about the rush. And that time Roger Worley jumped up, almost had an interception.
One of the problems of the 34 defense, if you don't bring a linebacker, you're not going to get great pressure.
Unless you have superhuman defensive ends. That's what it amounts to.
So Pat Leahy now trying a 45-yard field goal. He's 2 for 2 for the day. Puts a charge into it. He's got it again. This kid has been superior for the Jets. Had a tryout with the Cardinals. Came in as a free agent with the Jets in '74 when their place kicker Bobby Howfield got hurt. He's been with them ever since. Missed some big ones last year. This year he's been the best in the league. And that is the end of the third quarter with the score. The Jets 23 and the Cardinals 10, and we now pause for a word from your local station.